Good morning from the Hollywood Hour at Hollywood Happenings, and welcome to another edition of Celebrity Homes.
Okay, we're on the way to Pete Duel's. Our residence when he committed suicide. It's located in 2500 block of Glen Green. And this is a view from across the street. Straight up that way. That's where we're headed to. We're going to show you what he saw every day on his way home. This is a partial view from the corner of the street that he would be making a right turn on.
Pete Duel, an American stage actor, spends 50 years since the actor took his own life. It was New Year's Eve 1971 when actor Pete Duel took his own life. According to police and Duel's friends and family, says he was depressed over his drinking problem. He had been arrested, pled guilty to drinking under the influence and had the accident that injured two people the previous.
This is what he would see when he'd be coming up from that direction. You'd see this right there.
The previous June before his death, his death was wrote a suicide. He was 31 years old at the time of his death, which was caused by a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Here's the Hollywood sign, and straight up this street right here, on that side of the street, in the 2500 block, is where he lived and killed himself. And this was his view when he would come home from the studio or wherever. And there was a nice market that's been there since the 1920s, straight up the street. It's also original Hollywood Land Realty is up the street. Good morning from Hollywood Happenings at the Hollywood Hour. This is a view from as we're walking up to vlog Pete Duel's former residence, where he actually committed suicide. This is on Glen Green. Walking up toward the former home of actor Pete Duel.
Duel developed epilepsy after being involved in a car crash. He had been prescribed the drug Dilaton for his epilepsy, a drug with the side effects of depression and suicide. The risk of taking this drug is 5 times higher the suicide rate. Now, dopamine is an anti-epileptic drug, also known as an anticonvulsant. It works by slowing down impulses in the brain that causes seizures. The warning of this drug states that you should report any new or worsening symptoms to your doctor, such as mood or behavior changes, depression, anxiety, or if you feel agitated, hostile, restless, hyperactive mentally or physically, or have thoughts about suicide or hurting yourself. He told his brother on Monday before he died that he was terrified, but he did not know from what. It could have been from an internal prescription drug influence drug, but he literally had no power over one that set him up for drinking and ultimately led to his death.
Now the back house, I believe the back house was the one that was added on to it, which making that 2554. That was after his death.
Now, Duel became politically involved in politics during the primaries for the 1968 presidential election and campaigned for Eugene McCarthy in opposition to the Vietnam War. He witnessed the violence that erupted at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. The streets of Chicago had seen riots, bloodshed involving protesters, police, and bystanders alike, radically changing America's political and social landscape. The Democratic National Convention War was in 1968 and was held August 26th through the 29th in Chicago, Illinois. He was a passionate McCarthy Democrat and avid environmentalist, poet, and recovering alcoholic, and reportedly was bipolar. Now, Pete Dill was an American stage, television, and film actor who played on Gidget with Sally Field from 1965 to 1968, Love on the Rooftop 1966 to 1967, The Bold Ones, The Lawyers 1968 to 1972, and is best known for his starring role as Outlaw Hannibal Hayes on the television series Alias Smith and Jones from 1971 to 1973. Now, he was born Pete Elstrom Duel on February 24, 1940, in Rochester, New York, and his parents were Lillian Duell, Dr. Ellsworth, and his siblings were Jeffrey Duell and Pamela Duell. He was known professionally as Pete Duell. He died on December 31st, 1971, and buried at the Oakwood Cemetery Association, Pinfield, New York. Duell's funeral was held at the Self-Realization Fellowship Temple on January 2nd of 1972 in Pacific Palisades. At the service, Duell's girlfriend read a poem he wrote titled Love. An estimated 1,000 friends and fans attended. His body was flown to Plainfield, New York. Duell. Now, Pete Duell was born on February 24th, 1940 in Rochester, New York, and died December 31st, 1971 at his Hollywood Hills home in Los Angeles. He attended St. Lawrence University and Penfield High School in Canton, New York.
Now this here is a former home of actor Pete Duell, Rose and Gidget, Alias Smith and Jones. This one right here.
Located at 2552 Glen Green Street, is located in the Hollywood Hills in the Los Angeles Unified School District. It's a double duplex, 2 units, 4 stories or less. The square footage is 2,049, and it was built in. The original house was built in 1922. The property at 2552 was built in 1922, and it has 2 units, 4 bedrooms, and 3 bathrooms.
Former home of actor Pete Duell. This is where he committed suicide. Supposedly on the second floor.
In an article from the New York Times, his girlfriend, the police said that his girlfriend, Diana Bray, 29, was at Mr. Duell's home when he died. She told him that she had been invited to watch the latest episode of Alias Smith and Jones, which with him last night. After midnight, she said the actor went into another room saying, "I'll see you later."
That's this house right here. The back house is the 2554, which was added on after he passed away by the new owners. But this is the house where Pete Duel committed suicide.
His girlfriend told the police that she heard a gunshot, and the police say that Mr. Joel died of a single gunshot wound to the head, and a handgun was found near his body. Now, they also said that they found a bullet that was in the house that turned out to be a week old.
That was up on the second floor, so it's one is here, maybe over here, maybe right over here, here, right in here. This is on the second floor. Up that way is Glen Green, 2500 block, Pete Duel. And then this was his view that he had on his way home, right here. Let's zoom in. There you go.
Hollywood says, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Don't forget to subscribe, leave us a comment, hit the notification bell. Let us know what you think. Leave that comment. Hollywood says, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Do it for Hollywood.